has two sides to it, written on. The poem on the back is one that everybody is going to participate in speaking at the end of the program. It was written as a way to have people feel at home with the idea that when you prepare to go to a dance, which we all did for many years in our lives, a long while ago now, you really wanted to look your very best, and so it took quite a lot of preparation. And this is called Before the Dance, and we'll assume that all of us, when we come to the end of this program, are going off to a dance. And so we're all going to participate. We will have Marcy on one side and me on the other side reading with you the poem. If you look at it, you will see there are two sets of voices, and you read only the lines that are bold on your side of the room. So we'll set that up at the end so that we can all go out feeling that we will enjoy ourselves as we go. My husband's making funny raisings with his hand here, and I haven't the slightest idea what it means. He thinks I should stand further away. No. Well, I think, let's see, who said no?
Everybody. Don't listen to me.
Have to do. Anyways, have you all got this piece of paper so that you've got it? It actually gives you about the story too at the front about us and what we're going to do. So first I want to thank you all for coming. It's wonderful to have you in the audience, and let's hope that you really enjoy it so much that when it comes to the end you do want to get up and dance. I'm going to start off with reading some poems of mine, if I can find them. This is here, and I wanted to say, first of all, that we're really very lucky today because we've got two other people here to read, Betty and Marcy, and they're both of them going to be reading poems of people very beloved by people who are very beloved in their lives. And I think it's a special tribute to them that they're here today to be able to pass on to all of us the writing of their loved family members. And I would just like to start off the first poem that I read as one that is a tribute to my late brother, Ronald Jacobs, who really, he was 5 years older than me, and he went far beyond what one would think of as a brother or sister to do, to help me make my way in the world and the way in which I was. And just as an example, when we were young, we used to have to do the dishes very often after meals. My mother would do the cooking, and we would then afterwards have to do the washing up of all the dishes. We did not have a dishwasher in those days. And so he would set us up in such a way that he would whistle. He was very good at whistling or humming tunes. He loved music. So he would whistle or hum a tune, and I would have to guess what the tune was and who was the person who had written it. Then it was my turn, and I was rather interested in poetry, and so I would recite some line or another, usually most difficult for him, and he'd get him, and he would have to say who was the poet. So from a very early age, we worked together on our own interests, which was very important. And though we spent 59 years on separate continents, when I got married to Harold and came to the United States, and Ronnie Ray stayed in England, we kept in touch, and he was always calling me until the end of 2017, when he got very ill. And that was the last time I went to Britain in order to be with him in those released for about 11 days at the end of 17, and he died a month later. So here is a poem that was written when I was younger, when we would take a trip back to England, and we would go off for the weekend, Ronnie and I, up to where we used to go when we were younger. And he had taken me to the Lake District in the centre of England. Have any of you been to the Lake District? Good, okay. So it's the area in the centre of Britain, which was rather mountainous. And it's called the Lake District because it's also got lakes in among the mountains. And it's in Lancashire. And it used to have a lot of quarries there, which began providing stone to make roofs, particularly slate roofs, as early as the 12th and 13th century. So this is called In the Lake District with My Brother. Wait, I won't be this way again. See these flowers, hear these sheep bleating rhythmic as church bells again. On the old man of Coniston, the ruins of a copper mine, gaping mouth of silent, rusted lines. No carts and miners, but children pushing each other toward a stream. Beyond, a waterfall washes the silence, and our feet scrunch the ground. We each hold more than 60 years in hand, stored in memories, people long dead, places destroyed. Odd phrases, bird songs, rhododendrons, stones, all reverberate with memories of other times. Nothing is as now, but as it was and is, the past within the present. The next poem I shall read is called Patterns on the Curtains. I think it may be something that you would probably resonate with. Patterns on the curtains. On the curtains in front of me, warblers are forever singing. Plums are ripe upon the trees. Grapes hang in white and blue bunches between the flowers. Nothing changes. Yet I am caught in a time-bound life. Like Sisyphus, I push the present slowly, slowly up a steep hill. Steeper now than in earlier years. Hills so steep, like one in San Francisco, where all steps lead only to the next flight, and there seems no way to reach the top, only to keep climbing, climbing. On the curtains in front of me, warblers are forever singing. Plums are ripe upon the trees. Grapes hang in white and blue bunches between the flowers. Nothing changes. And here is a poem that I wrote from on top of on the top deck of a ship, which was actually crossing from Woods Hole, Massachusetts to Martha's Vineyard. One of those boats that go regularly at various times of the day during the summer. And it's called A Blackbird Caught My Eye. From the top deck, we watched the ship turn slowly toward the dock. I felt the wind becoming stronger as the boat turned. It blew me almost off my feet, the gust so strong. As I scanned the water, a black bird caught my eye, flying low across the waves, making no headway against the wind. Again and again it fluttered closer to the waves, hunting for fish, I thought, waiting to dive. And yet the bird was not a cormorant or a gull. It seemed a crow or blackbird. And as I watched, it dropped down into the water and disappeared. I scanned the surface of the sea for yards around, but saw no head appear, no ruffled feathers, only the water with its white caps in the wind. I think our flight in life is similar to that bird's. We migrate from city to shore and back. We survive long journeys without sustenance, buoyed upward when the wind's behind us, battling it when the wind's head on. Until one day, exhausted like the bird I saw, we too plunge into the ocean. I want to read to you a poem that was entered to an international poetry contest, which I think is annual. It's the Milton Dorfman Poetry Prize, and it's an international prize, and this poem won the international prize in 2007. In the way I set it up, it starts with a sort of small section from another poet. Now, a lot of poets do that. They take the thinking of one particular poet and then try to see what that poet's idea means to them. And this is called The Water That I Swim In. And the piece that is going to be taken from is from Marge Piercy, who's a poet who taught me at some point in my life, and I think, and find now, speaks a lot to my ideas and to the issues that I have faced and that many of us in our generation have faced, particularly the women of our generation. And this poem of hers is called Available Light, and it's in a book called The Art of Blessing the Day. So this is Marge Piercy. At the moment I find myself under the water of my past, trying to breathe in that thick, refracted medium. At the moment I find myself under the water of my past, trying to breathe in that refracted medium. And this is a poem I wrote called Water That I Swim In. I thought that I could pick and choose which moments of my past I'd have as my companions now, that was my future then. I thought that I would keep the water clear by adding new, fresh streams to some small residue of what I'd left behind. But I was wrong. All moments past make up the water that I swim in, spatter my eyes and block my view, or dangle from my hair, entangle me in that which was, when I would swim to what must lie ahead. Would that I could add more fresh spring water to this brew. Would that I could pay a sum to an environmental group to clean up the pollution of my past. Would that I could swim ahead, clear-sighted, instead of darkly through this stew. Well, two more poems I just wanted to share, maybe three. The first is called Shortcomings. It falls to many, this is again a poet, not me, writing this, Laura writing in a book called The Way It Is. It falls to many to be blessed in their shortcomings. Now that's a comforting, very comforting idea. I think all of us would feel it would be nice to feel that we might be blessed in our shortcomings. So here's what I wrote. Look, the clouds race across the sky like children chasing a squirrel. I stand to watch. I feel the wind that turns the trees into flamenco dancers, tossing their skirts as they twirl. Were I so sure that I was right, So very sure I knew the only way. Perhaps I wouldn't follow after side tracks. Paths were well worn but narrow, filled with coloured flowers, ones that beckoned me despite their placement off the road. Were I so sure that I was right, so very sure I knew the only way, perhaps I would just travel there at once, without a stop, follow the interstate and drive for 12 hours straight. Straight, with never a look at the view, never a chance to check the roses, smell the grass, or wander barefoot over the fields. And now, if you wonder why I'm reading so many at once, it's because this is the way we've set it up, that one of us will read, then the other monks will read. So the last one of these poems that I will read is called Between Friends. Our conversation meanders like a lazy stream, edged by tall grasses, hiding burrows of water rats and moles and bullfrogs, camouflaged as stones, croaking to each other across the water, intermittent as two foghorns. We have hidden burrows in our lives, mistakes we buried, quick as a squirrel, treasures stored for winter, concealed where tall grasses grow. Our conversations meander past each one. Our words, like water, smooth the edges, penetrate the crevices, and leave us free to float on down the stream. I will pass on now to I just want to thank the splendid people of Marcy and Betty who have joined